Kia ora, and welcome. I started Unseen New Zealand for one simple reason. Our country's ecology is incredible, fragile and often overlooked. There are places, tracks, coastlines and stories that most people never get to see, not because they don't exist, but because they sit just outside the usual paths. This project is about shining a light on those places while encouraging something just as important as getting out there and actually living. I'm not here to tick boxes or follow the standard tourist routes. I'm drawn to fun, the unusual and the slightly uncomfortable. The moments where effort turns into perspective, whether that's carrying a BMX somewhere it probably doesn't belong, exploring lesser known trails, or taking a different line through familiar landscapes. The goal is always the same: experience New Zealand in the way that feels real. Right now, I'm in Lyttelton Harbour, heading across the Diamond Harbour with my BMX aimed at Mount Herbert. It's not the fastest way up, and it's definitely not the easiest, but that's the kind of point. Adventures don't have to be extreme to be meaningful, they just have to be intentional. I film these locations to inspire people, to spark curiosity, and to get you thinking about what's actually out there, to share the view and the feeling and the atmosphere so you can experience it through my eyes. The hope is simple, that seeing these places encourages you to step outside, explore more and create your own adventures, whatever that looks like for you. You don't need the best gear, the biggest plan, or a perfect reason, just curiosity, respect for the land, and a willingness to try something a little different. Unseen New Zealand isn't about conquering nature, it's about reconnecting with it. So come along for the ride. Right, ferry to Diamond Harbour. 10 minutes across, maybe less if the wind's on your side, maybe more if it's messing with you here. You know, this is the same side where a lot of the early settlers landed. First Camp Bay, just around the corner, no wharf, no red carpet, just land and whatever they'd managed to drag all the way from England. Imagine it, boats full of crates, sheep bleating, people wondering if they made the right call, or if the ground would just swallow them whole. Diamond Harbour made sense back then, shelter from the weather, easy to get supplies from Lyttelton, and a nice spot to catch your breath before you land. From here, they pushed up the hills, cleared paddocks, put in fence lines, and started farming. Every step had a purpose, no fancy shoes, no tracks, just grit and determination. And now, we're just a ferry ride away, wandering past the same hills, easier shoes, maybe a coffee in hand, same view stretching out in front of us. Mount Herbert's been standing there the whole time, watching, waiting, a bit cheeky, a bit proud. Crossing the water like this, it's funny how it makes the world feel a bit bigger, a bit quieter, like you've stepped out of the everyday. Alright, gets real now, we'll do the hard work. Easy. Alright, we're in Diamond Harbour. Next stop, walking up Mount Herbert. Let's just see what those early settlers were up against. Okay, here we are at the base, ready to start the climb up Mount Herbert, the highest point on the Banks Peninsula at 919 metres. That's almost 3 times the height of the Sky Tower in Auckland, so it's a real adventure. The climb begins right from this rocky beach, heading straight into the bush. It's not a trail, just a natural landscape shaping the way forward. It's steep, rugged, and it's going to take about 2 hours to reach the top. Every step, every push of the tyres, if you're riding, makes you feel the effort of the climb. As we move higher, rocks crunch underfoot and the bush surrounds us. It's thick and wild, and a real taste of New Zealand untouched wilderness. Every now and then, a small road cuts through, hints of a human passage, but mostly it's raw terrain, challenging you with every turn. The hill keeps climbing, each section brings new textures of bush, rocks and roots, a constant test of endurance and focus. You can imagine the Waiata people, the first people here, moving through this landscape, fully connected to every tree and stone. It's quiet except for footsteps, the crunch of tyres, the wind, the occasional bird, every patch of sunlight through the leaves, every rustle of undergrowth draws you deeper into the scenic New Zealand adventure. As we reach higher ground, the views start to open, glimpses of valleys and untouched hillsides. You can feel small part of something bigger, fully immersed in the great outdoors. This is what makes New Zealand unseen and unexplored. Places beyond roads, fences, and the ordinary. It's raw, it's beautiful, and it's waiting to be experienced, whether you're walking, hiking, or bringing a bike along for the ride. Now we've climbed out of the bush and the climb opens up. The slope stretches ahead, rocky and uneven, with nothing to block the wind. Every step, every push is a fight against the hill. The ground shifts underfoot, loose stones sliding with each step. It's relentless, your legs burn, your lungs pull, but you keep moving. There's no shade, no breaks, just an open space and a climb ahead. Small ledges, soft dirt, and hidden rocks make every step a challenge. You have to focus your balance on every move. The summit is visible now, but it still feels far. The open terrain makes the hill feel bigger. After about an hour of climbing, the trees fall away behind us. No shelter, no canopy, just open ridgeline, rolling grass, and the sky in every direction. And it's beautiful. Clear, warm, almost too hot. The sun sits high, pressing down on your shoulders. There's no shade, no escape from it. Your shirt sticks to your back. Your legs feel the incline, and every step is earned. The higher you go, the bigger the world gets. Littleton Harbour opens up behind us, wide and glassy. Out east, the Pacific stretches endless and blue. You can see the volcanic shape of the Banks Peninsula clearly from here, every ridge carved in the landscape. A Japanese man passes, heading down, light pack, relaxed style. No conversation, just a brief nod as he moves past. He's already done. He's already stood at the top. Further up the track, I approach another climber, a man in his 70s. Steady paced, measured, breathing, no rush. In his heat, that says it all. I ask him how long he's been climbing. He smiles and tells me he's been doing this most of his life. Not for records, not for attention, just because it keeps him strong. Standing there in the full sun, sweat on our foreheads, wind brushing across the ridge, it hits me. Mountains don't adjust for comfort. They don't lower themselves because it's too hot. They don't care how old you are. They just wait. And the people who come here, especially men like him, they're not chasing noise. They're chasing that free feeling and earning that view. That's why Unseen New Zealand makes these films. Not just to show the summit, but to show the people who choose to climb toward it. Because sometimes inspiration isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's a man in his 70s still walking uphill on a day that's almost too hot. I'm standing at the top of Mount Herbert now. It took me 2 hours to get here, every step earning this view. The bush is far behind me. The ridgeline opens completely. Long grass sways in the warm wind. It's beautiful, almost too hot, but alive. From up here, the world feels enormous. Littleton Harbour stretches out below, twisting and turning in the silver sunlight. Quail Island rests quietly in the middle of the water, small but striking. Other islands dot the harbour, each one a reminder of how layered and intricate this landscape is. Looking across, the port hills sit low and green, familiar ridges that frame the city far beyond. You can really feel the difference in the height. How Mount Herbert rises above everything, commanding the peninsula. The volcanic folds of the banked peninsula roll out like frozen waves, ridges and valleys carved over millions of years. Every bay, every inlet catches the light differently, giving a real sense of scale. It's easy to imagine the first people moving through this land, the Waiata, seeing the harbour, the same ridges, the same islands, but the wild and untamed, guided only by their knowledge of the land. Standing here, sun on my shoulders, wind brushing across my face, the summit gives me perspective. It's not about seeing every detail below. It's about height, scale, connection, and feeling part of something bigger. This is what Unseen New Zealanders is all about. Ordinary people stepping into extraordinary landscapes, standing at the top and carrying that feeling with them. Mount Herbert rises like a guardian over the land. Its slopes, shaped by centuries of wind, rain and time. Trails wind through bush, tussock, and rocky landscapes, each curve inviting those who come to pause, to reflect and to move with intention. For generations, people have been drawn to this place, not only for shelter or sustenance, but for inspiration. The mountain calls to those seeking challenge, perspective, or a quiet moment to reconnect. It asks us to step beyond the everyday, to test our limits, and to feel the presence of something far greater than ourselves. Every root, every stone, every swaying branch holds memory. The land teaches patience, perseverance, and respect. Lessons that linger long after the journey ends. To move through these slopes is to feel the pulse of the mountain, to sense its quiet strength, and to discover courage and clarity within your own heart. Mount Herbert is more than a place. It is a teacher, a companion, a source of wonder. Its trails, ridges, and forests speak to all who enter, reminding us of our connection to the land, to history, and to that potential that lies within each of us. And perhaps, above all, Mount Herbert should inspire you to go and experience it for yourself. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Mount Herbert and the hidden corners of our land. If you enjoyed discovering the unseen beauty of New Zealand, please subscribe so that Unseen New Zealand can become part of your life, bringing these places to wherever you are. Through each story, each ridge, and each trail, we hope you feel the openness, the wonder, and the spirit of this land. Let unseen New Zealand inspire your next adventure, and let the mountains, forests and rivers continue to move you along after the journey ends.